Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Monica. I'm a tarot reader and astrologer based in the Whitsundays in Australia, and today I'm looking at the tarot and oracle deck highlights from 2025. So these are decks that were new to me. They're certainly not new as in published in 2025. In fact, I've got 10 decks to go through today, and of those only 3 I purchased brand new, and of those only 2 were released sort of over the past 12 months. And the rest are all secondhand decks, some from, even a couple of decades ago. So this isn't by any means like, brand new decks of 2025 or anything like that. These are just decks that sort of came into my life over the past 12 months. That I consider to be a highlight of my year for one reason or another. And the other thing I should say is actually that I've looked back at my tarot and oracle deck purchases in 2025, and I brought in something like 30 decks. I don't know how that happened. I'm sure I can't be the only one that says that. I'm fairly conservative in my deck purchases these days, or perhaps conservative isn't the right word, discerning. I'm fairly discerning with the decks that I get these days, but I don't know, last year I guess I just really felt the need to, increase my collection by quite a bit. Now, even though I got 30 decks in, quite a few of those were kind of a bit average for me. I didn't connect with. I didn't consider them to be that good, or very average or even mediocre for tarot readings. And so some of those have already been passed on, and I didn't really want to do a deck haul for 2025 because of that. I just really want to just show the decks that impress me the most. So let's start with the brand new tarot decks for 2025. So the first 2 I got off Kickstarter. First one being the Quiet Rebel Tarot. This took me by surprise. When I backed this, so Lynn Thurman already had I believe a Quiet Rebel Oracle, which I don't have. And then she did the tarot on Kickstarter, and I kind of went, let's try something different. And I'll share what I mean by different. So it came in a really nice, solid box. And it's got like a little, fold out sort of a pamphlet for the meanings, very brief, which is fine. And then the deck itself is a collage. And I don't normally go for decks that have titles. I'll show you what I mean. But I really, really, really liked the titles that she chose for the cards. They're absolutely fantastic. So, for example, the 4 of Swords, we've got The Nap is Calling. I love these. I love these so much. And the Hierophant is the unofficial guide. The 2 of Pentacles, the Beautiful Mess. There's some really fantastic ones here, like the Knight of Cups being the Mood Rider. And I just think she's done a really, really fantastic job. I love this deck. This is a fun deck. This is a pick me up, make me feel better kind of deck that's fun, and it's almost like lighthearted, but the messages are fantastic. And I've read with it already, and it reads surprisingly well. I wouldn't have picked that for a deck that has titles. Done and dusted, 8 of Cups. How good are these? Oh, I love this one. The Hangman is the reality dropout. Oh, yes. And I love how he's suspended. And we've got in the background, I'm not sure how well that's coming through. It looks like a city landscape with high rises and concrete. And then, the dude's just hanging in there. And we've got the planets and the stars, and just, Hangman to a T, not part of reality at all. The Star is the eternal optimist. 9 of Swords, the panic button. I love this. I love this so much. you know, Five of Wands, the power struggle, and it just goes on and on. I'm not going to go through the whole deck, or we'll be here the whole day. Queen of Swords is the sharpshooter. Love. I think she's done a fantastic job in choosing the keywords. The Wheel of Fortune is the comic roulette. The Ace of Swords is the spark of madness, and anyway, it just goes on and on. So love this deck. A very, very pleasant surprise for me. I was not expecting to love this deck as much as I do now, and it's definitely been a favorite of mine from 2025, and I need to do some more readings with it to showcase it for my channel, perhaps in 2026. Now, the second one I got from Kickstarter. This was a huge roaring success, and it's no surprise, is it? The Matrona. What can I say? When I saw this, I just could not believe that something so insanely good was happening. This is the creation of Valentina De Luca. She has done a superb job. This is hand painted, which is what got my attention first up, and it's a Marseille deck. I'm not at the stage where I'm reading with Marseille just yet, but there's no way I could pass on that. Now, I love it so much I bought two. I did buy a spare copy, but then I think I saw somewhere that they're doing a mainstream publication. That reason, combined with the fact that the cards are actually too big for me, and that the cardstock, while I love the cardstock, it's a very matte. It's almost like a very thick card, right? This is the cardstock I normally love, but I feel like here they're just a little bit on the like too thick a side. And that means that I don't really shuffle this deck very well. But again, I'm not at a stage where I'm reading with it yet. I'm still learning the Thoth. Those of you that might have seen some earlier videos from me looking at, 2025 was the year I was learning Thoth, and I still am. I'm only about like a third of the way through Thoth. And after that, I will get into Marseille. So I got this. One, I love the artwork. Two, I know that at some stage I'm going to work with Marseille. Let's have a look at some cards where I'm talking. Excuse me. And yeah, I got a spare copy. But then, like I said, when the fact that the cardstock is one, large, and two, quite thick, and also the fact that they're doing a mainstream release of it, I could be wrong on that. But I'm sure I saw something about this being released mainstream. Means that I sold the spare copy, and I will be getting the mainstream. Hopefully that one is smaller cardstock, and hopefully it's more shuffleable, if that's a word. Probably is not a word, but anyway. So yes, the majors are just stunning, but then even the minors, if you look at the pips, they're just, it's like a real work of art, right? This deck is a work of art. I mean, all decks are, I kind of feel like this one stands above the rest by far. So these were the only like new in 2025 decks that I got. But I have a third deck which came out a few years ago, and it's an oracle deck, and I finally decided to spend a lot of money getting this one because I just knew I would love it, and I was correct on that. It's the Death Doula. This deck made an impression on me seeing it online so much that I bought spare copies. I gifted a brand new spare copy of this to a very dear friend of mine who recently completed counseling studies and now works as a counselor, and her interest is being a death doula. And, she loves it too. Like, I mean, how can you not love this deck? It is so unique. It's so layered. It's got so much depth. It's just different, guys. It's, I don't know. I love a deck that kind of has a touch of the other world to it, which this deck does in terms of the imagery and that photographic layering that the artist did. But it's also got modernity infused in it because, you know, photographic medium is a modern medium, really. It's not like paint. I mean, photography's been around for a while, but really, I still place it in kind of like a modern medium. And how do I describe this deck? It's like a soul deck for me. This is an amazing deck, and I love the little booklet that comes with it. It has lots of prompts and exercises. It's a small booklet. It's like, this is my favorite type. It's small, but it's got substance, you know, it's got density to it. There's stuff to chew on in there and work with. So, yeah, and I love the keywords as well. Like, it's got different types of keywords that you normally see in tarot decks. I mean, look at that. I love this truth card. I love the little glimmers of like the crystals in it, and just, you know, true will. The keywords are brilliant. Vision, the void. Yeah, this deck is something different, and I've got no regrets about spending what I spent to get it. The reason why it costs so much also isn't just the deck itself, it's the shipping cost to Australia. It's pretty much now at the point where, yeah, it's only decks like these that I can afford to pay for shipping, and that's the reason why all the other decks I'm showing you are now secondhand, or most of them. I think I have one that I bought brand new out of all the other ones that I've got to show. So yeah, the rest are secondhand because you know, paying $10 to get a couple of secondhand decks in Australia is far more palatable than paying $30 to $40 to get a deck in from overseas. And that's per deck. Ridiculous. Anyway. So that's the Death Doula Oracle. What a fantastic addition. I've treasured this deck very, very much. Okay, now the next one that I've got is one that I've wanted for a long time, but I really couldn't justify spending the money on it because it's out of print. And then it came up for sale for like something like $20, believe it or not. And it's the Glastonbury Tarot. Original in the box. True to form, the box is terrible. If you know these boxes from the 90s, yeah, I'm not a fan of this kind of inserts that crack and split, and it's very flimsy, very, very flimsy. So I got this, and it was a highlight for me to finally obtain it after so many years of wanting it. The booklet is in mint condition, as were the cards. So this was printed in 1999. 26 years ago, goodness. Unfortunately, the card stock is terrible. I'm just gonna say it. It is almost two-dimensional. It's like so thin, and it's very, it's got a plastic coating. Can you see the glare? So that's meant that I haven't worked with it as much as I really want to. Now, the times that I have worked with it, it's been very straightforward, and I like that. And I think that's a reflection of the artwork. It's not a cluttered deck, and I really appreciate that in tarot decks. That's one of the reasons I kind of liked it, and what drew me to it. There's not a lot of, you know, huge symbolism, you know, too many symbols, and like a busy image kind of isn't my thing in tarot. And I like that about this deck. I like that it's uncluttered and it's sort of almost minimalist. And so the readings are really great with it. But the cardstock, unfortunately, really puts me off working with it a lot. You know, it's a thing. I'm very picky about my cardstock. If you follow my channel for a while, you know I go on about it just about every damn video. I apologize, I can't help it. So anyway, yeah, this was certainly a highlight. Despite the cardstock, I was very, very, very happy to have this in my collection, as I was to have the Winter Pastels Carol Herzer deck. I've done a video on this. I'll link it in the description box below. I don't really know what to say. I mean, I've wanted a Carol Herzer for so long, and like one that came up for sale in Australia, and either the cards were too large, or the color palette wasn't really my thing. This is more my thing. It's kind of subtle, but potent. You know, it's not, yeah, I don't really know how to describe it. It's a predominance of green and pinks and silver and white. And I'm not sure if the glitter comes through. I'm not sure. And because, you know, these decks are really, really expensive, these one-of-a-kind custom-made decks, as they should be, no shade on the artist whatsoever for charging what she charges. But because of that, it means that I'm not always able to, you know, get one when I see one that I like. But 2025 was the year when everything aligned a few months back, and yeah, this one came up for sale, and I went, right, now's the time, it's now or never. So I really, really love this, and I love the size of it too. It's, you know, the cards are small. So definitely a treasure in my collection. Next up, I've got two decks that I bought together from, I got these on the online Facebook group, excuse me, that I'm part of here in Australia, because when you buy things together, you know, it decreases the shipping quite a bit. And I think I bought these for around $50 to $60 each, so they weren't expensive. And I've wanted both of these decks for so long. Same artist, Dana O'Driscoll, Tarot of Trees, the small edition, and the Plant Spirit Oracle. The lady I bought these off edges her decks. And I don't mind that. She has a great, she's very sensitive to the color scheme, so she complements that when she edges them. So let me show you what I mean by that. So this is the Plant Spirit Oracle. And she's done this in a really lovely kind of a mauvey color. Right, so I got this because Oracle decks and tarot decks that feature plants are one of the things that I'm really interested in. Even though a lot of these plants I cannot grow here in the tropics, I have worked with this deck on a weekly basis since I got it. I draw one card for the week. And while I can't work with the herb itself, I can certainly appreciate the messages and how they relate to the events in my life for the particular week that I draw the card. And they're very, very on point. It's been one of the most on point, really surprised by that. Because initially I wanted to draw one card to basically you know, learn about the herb. But then when I read the messages for it, it was like, oh, you know, this really relates to what happened in the week. So yeah, it's been a fantastic addition and support guide for me throughout the year since I obtained it. And I think the artwork is beautiful. It's hand painted, of course. And yeah, I believe she is in the Pacific Northwest in the United States. So a lot of these herbs are herbs that thrive in that region. I think some of them I might be able to grow here, but at the moment I'm basically working with this in terms of like guidance, spiritual guidance for me, not so much about growing the plants themselves. But it's really a really beautiful deck. And the other one that I got, the Tarot of Trees. Again, this is a deck I've wanted for a long time, but it was either out of print, and I think might still be out of print. I'm not sure about this version. This is the small version. When I saw it come up, I snapped it up because I was like, right, it's now or never. And I know that, like, I knew before I got it, this wouldn't be a deck I would just get and get bored with it or pass it on. I knew this deck has significance for me. I'm very drawn to trees. But what I've been so surprised with in a really pleasant way is just how apt the symbolism, like the way she's drawn it, relates to the Rider-Waite-Smith. And I'll show you what I mean in a sec. I just think she's done a fantastic job. Like, you'd never think, oh, how can you really show Rider-Waite-Smith meaning and symbolism in a deck that features no people? And, you know, like the Ace of Pentacles, you know, that really big opportunity right there. You can't miss it. She's done just a really, really lovely job of it. The Moon card is one of my favorites in this deck. And I think of all the Moon cards out there. I've been so pleasantly surprised by this deck. I mean, I can say that about all the decks I'm featuring here because, okay, these are my highlights for 2025, right? I'm only showing you, like, things that I've just found really fantastic. But yeah, look at the Magician. It's got all the elements, all the symbols for the elements suspended from the tree. The sun with the sunflowers. I love the Judgment card. I mean, do you know, make or break, breakthrough, even though it's raining and it's thundery and, you know, you're into this world with all of the ominous weather around us, but you push through and you grow and you draw on everything, all the elements around you to nurture that growth and to turn it into something amazing. Here's the Four of Swords. Isn't that just so great? You know, like resting on the Four of Swords. I think that she's done a wonderful, wonderful top job of incorporating the meanings of the Rider-Waite-Smith, and that means that it makes it for a really, really great reading deck. Just, you know, you can read with this deck for lots of issues or everyday issues and things like that. Love the Eight of Swords with the bandage around. So yes, the Tarot of Trees. I am so happy to have this, and this one was also edged in this really lovely mauve, like kind of like light purple that kind of complements some of the purple and the mauve in the cards. So I don't mind that someone else has edged a deck, because I know the lady that I bought the decks from, she's a long-term seller on this group, so I knew she had done a great job. Like I trusted, you know, when she says it's edged, it wouldn't be a rush job or something like that. So yeah, I was comfortable to buy an edged deck, and I actually prefer that because I don't have to do it. And to be honest, I'm not the best at detail, so if I was going to do it, probably wouldn't have been the best thing. Oh, 2025 for me was quite a difficult year on an internal level, on an inner level. And it's the year that I got in 2 copies of the Gentle Tarot because of that. I already had a Gentle Tarot deck that I'd also bought secondhand, but I didn't quite like the cardstock as much, and so when another version came up, and also this version, the smaller version in the tin, came up for sale, both secondhand, I decided to get them. While they were secondhand, they were in absolute fantastic condition, as you will see. That's just a sticker sheet that came with it that I haven't used. I don't know, I mean, do you use the stickers for from any of the decks you get? I'm kind of too hesitant to do that. Yeah, I got the small version. It's got this beautiful gold edging to it, and I love the cardstock, and I love the size. I love everything about it, basically. And I just really need this deck in my life to just provide some really gentle energy and some soothing. You know, I've turned 46 this year, and I think a lot of the internal stuff happening is around perimenopause, things that haven't been quite resolved, just, I don't know, and that struggle that I've always had about my place in the world. And I love this deck because this deck essentially says, in a very, very gentle and supportive way, you know, kind of like, it's okay to just be as you are, and you don't have to prove anything. You just have to appreciate life and nature and all the small things about life. And I've kind of pulled back in many ways this year, and I've stopped kind of striving for anything really. Like I kind of, you know, I volunteer at the community gardens, and I do a little bit of paid part-time work, not much, and I have no expectations around that, or I'm not pushing it to get me anywhere. Like, I'm just content to just do that. And then the rest of the time I'm just spending with my tarot decks and in my home, and doing a lot of personal work with decks like the Gentle Tarot. This has been this has been like a therapy in my life, this deck, all right? That's how I put it, like a very gentle therapist that kind of says, you know, stop struggling, stop worrying, that you haven't achieved XYZ, and it's okay, just be, because there's just so much happening in the world already that simply looking after myself and my home and my family, and doing my tarot and astrology work, and, you know, doing the little bit of volunteering I do at the community gardens, like, that's okay, and that's enough. And that's what this deck has been for me. An incredible addition, and I will most likely continue working with this quite significantly through 2026. And I love that it comes in this really cute little tin. Yeah, it just slides like that. Perfect. All right, what have I got? I've got a couple of decks left. So I'm going to go next with a second-hand deck. So these so far have all been second-hand decks that I've shown, with the exception of the Death Doula, the Matrona, and the Quiet Rebel. And this deck was no exception. I need to do a video on this. It is worthy. I don't mean to sound condescending or high and mighty about it, but I think this deck merits its own review. Even though I know there's reviews out there for it. Poppy, thank you. I know you're no longer here, and I really hope wherever you are, you're at peace. I watched with a mix of sadness and understanding her farewell videos on her channel. No judgment. I completely understand people who decide to go down that path. I have zero judgment for it whatsoever. It is a personal choice once you're an adult. And you do that in a very conscious way, which is what she did. But this deck, gosh, I rate this deck, people, far above many other decks. So the booklet is itself a work of art. I love that it has a text on, hang on, a text on the image, which describes the image. Then we've got the story, which is the story of the protagonist, told from their perspective. And then we've got a meaning. So there's just, it's very rich. There's a lot to mine in this book. And then the cards themselves. So it's a magnetic clip box. This is one exception I make for large cardstock, because the deck is excellent. I hold this deck in high regard, similar to the Gaian Tarot. If I had to do a video on my signature decks or the decks that define me, this would be in there absolutely alongside the Gaian Tarot. And yes, someone edged this in this lovely, lovely green that matches the green on the card backs. Again, a fantastic job. Thank you to whoever it was. I can't remember. I got the second hand quite a while back. And I think that this deck showcases what the core of our humanity and what it means to be a human being. I think there is just so much in it about the real meaning of life. I love how we have these elemental spirits around the people in every single card. I love how real and down to earth it is in terms of the people that it's showing. These are scenes from daily, everyday life. Okay, everyday life is showcased in this deck. But there's just so much humanity in it. There is so much joy for humanity. There is so much understanding of the challenges that we go through, which are common to most of us. This is a really important card for me, the Eight of Cups. I got this as a guidance card regarding my tarot and astrology path. And it's kind of saying, you know, turn my back on the mundane and open the windows to the path to the moon and the path to, you know, intuition and psychic work and all that. And now, I didn't take this to mean that I abandoned my home, but it certainly meant not make this like the main thing, you know, like not let everyday drudgery get on top of me, not let it be my main work. There is more to life. I love this, like, look at the Page of Blades, the Page of Swords. You know, I love the little hedgehog sleeping there. I love the expressions on their faces, you know, on the kids' faces, like the connection to nature. Do you ever remember what that was like for you? Because I do. Even though I grew up in a concrete apartment block, I was fortunate enough to have an inner courtyard where I'd watch mesmerized little spiders weave their webs. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I need to do a review of this deck. It's worthy. It demands its own review, and I need to actually sit down and write out what I'm actually thinking about it, because right now none of this is scripted, and I kind of feel like it needs me to give it some decent thought to try and articulate coherently just how seminal this deck I think it is. And it's a shame that I don't see this being worked with more. Love the Lover's card. The Knight of Blades. Yeah, I'm so glad I got this. A top highlight for me from 2025, and one that I'll be treasuring for so many, many years to come. Seven of Wands, you know, putting nature above profit, our world above profit, corporate interests. I see that as the defining issue and movement for the next decades, probably centuries even. This is like the age of Aquarius energy that started in the 60s, and it is continuing. It will continue. Anyway, so this is the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin. And finally, took me by surprise, this one, the Chrysalis Tarot. Comes in this terrible box. You know, the boxes with like little bits of styrofoam in them to hold things in place, and they don't, and everything just, I gotta watch what I say, no swearing. But yeah, excellent book. This is by Tony Brooks and Holly Sierra. Holly Sierra is the artist. And I think, honestly, I didn't catch on to it at the time, but this deck I think came to me, or actually I started working with this deck and valuing it around the time that I did my Metamorphosis tarot spread, looking at menopause's metamorphosis, and of course Chrysalis, right? The symbolism is so on point. A time of change and significant changes. And initially when I got this deck, I kind of put it to the side because it has, like, the core cards are differently titled, and a lot of the minors are a bit different to the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition. I'm actually not sure 100% whether this is Thoth or Rider-Waite-Smith. But that aside, once I started doing some readings with it, I was like, okay, this is something different. And I realized that it's something different for me at this time period in my life. And not everyone who gets this deck or has it or works with it will have the same astonishing depth in terms of their readings with it. But I have, and it's blown me away. Isn't that just, ooh, just, yeah. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So for that reason, you know, like I got the Two of Spirals and the Two of Stones. I did a reading about a significant decision. So that's the Two of Pentacles, and this is the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands shows the Spirit deciding which nest to put the swarm in. Really, really important decision. And as much as we wish that Tarot would tell us exactly which choice to make, sometimes the fact is that Tarot isn't going to tell us, and you gotta make that choice yourself, and you gotta live with the consequences in the best way possible, or you learn from it. That's just how it is. It's part of being a grown-up. It's part of maturing. It's part of the maturing process. You stop blaming everything around you. You stop blaming your circumstances. You stop blaming XYZ. Yeah, and you make your choices and your decisions to the best of your ability and reap the rewards or the lessons from them. Two of Stones or Two of Pentacles as well, another decision, but I kind of felt like now I've made my decision and I'm stepping over this void to a new path. So yes, this deck, I think it was published in 2010. Let me have a look, sorry. 2016. So around 10 years ago. But I haven't seen it around much. I think it was Shana D that showcased it at one stage, and I kind of got my interest. I love older US Games decks, this is a US Games publication. I love older mainstream decks, so not just US Games, but Llewellyn, AGM, those sort of publishing houses. And yeah, I decided to get it. I love the cardstock, I love the color choices, and yeah, but it's a personal deck for me, this deck. The way that it's shown up in my life, the time that it's shown up in, and the readings that I'm doing with it is very much a personal deck because it's in my life at a time where I'm going through significant changes and transformations as a woman and also as a human being. And so, yeah, this was a very, very pleasant surprise for me for 2025 and wraps up my 10 decks. Have I got 10? Yes, I got 10. So, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for watching to the end if you've made it this far. And anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of it's a little bit of a haul, but it's like a haul of highlights for me. I might title it that way, for 2025. And thank you for your support so far in 2025. Thanks for being here with me. And until my next video, take care.